Ayan Malik woke before dawn without knowing why. The room was silent except for the slow hum of the ceiling fan and the distant sound of a motorcycle passing through. Empty streets. His phone glowed on the bedside table, lighting the dark like a warning. Half asleep, he reached for it, expecting a routine work message, but the sender's name instantly cleared his mind. Imran Siddiqui. Ayan frowned. Imran never messaged at this hour. They had worked together for nearly 10 years, and Imran respected boundaries almost too strictly. Something felt wrong before Ayan even opened the message. There was no greeting, no explanation, just a link. Ayan hesitated, then tapped it. The page loaded slowly, each second stretching longer than the last. A business news website appeared. At first, Ayan didn't understand what he was reading. His eyes moved across the headline again and again until the words finally arranged themselves into meaning. Siddiqui Group acquires Malik Designs in strategic transition. His breath caught. Malik Designs was his company. His name was still in the title, yet the article described it as if he were already part of its past. The report explained that ownership had shifted weeks earlier under a restructuring agreement signed digitally by both founders. Investors praised Imran's leadership and vision. Ayan's role was mentioned only briefly, described as stepping away from executive decisions. Ayan sat upright, heart pounding. This had to be a mistake. If he opened the attached documents, legal forms appeared, stamped and verified. His digital signature rested at the bottom of multiple agreements. The dates showed transactions completed. Over the last month, confusion turned into disbelief. He had never approved this. He would have remembered signing away control of the company he built from nothing. His hands trembled as memories rushed back. Emails Imran had asked him to review quickly. Documents sent late at night. Moments when Ayan trusted his partner enough not to double-check every detail. Trust suddenly felt like a trap he had walked into willingly. The sun rose slowly outside, but Ayan remained frozen on his bed. His mind searched for explanations that made sense. Maybe this was temporary. Maybe Imran had secured emergency funding and needed legal adjustments. There had been financial pressure recently. Projects delayed, investors impatient. Still, none of it justified secrecy. Ayan called Imran immediately. The phone rang several times before going to voicemail. He tried again. No answer. A short message arrived minutes later. "We'll talk at the office. It's important." Those words only deepened the unease. Ayan dressed quickly and drove through early traffic, barely noticing red lights or crowded intersections. Memories followed him during the drive. The first office they rented, a tiny room with cracked paint and a leaking window. He remembered how Imran had convinced him not to quit when their first client canceled. He remembered nights when they slept on chairs, laughing at their own exhaustion, promising that success would never change who they were. Imran had always been calm where Ayan was passionate. Together, they balanced each other. That balance had built everything. When Ayan arrived at the office building, something felt different immediately. The security guard, who usually greeted him, avoided eye contact. Inside, the reception desk had new branding. The company logo looked sharper, redesigned, unfamiliar. Employees whispered as he walked past. Some nodded awkwardly. Others pretended to focus on their screens. Ayan's access card failed at the main office door. He tried again, pressing harder as if force could change reality. It won't work. A quiet voice said behind him. He turned to see Sana from accounting, her expression filled with sympathy. "They updated the system yesterday," she said. "Carefully. Updated." Ayan repeated, unable to understand. Before she could answer, the conference room door opened. Imran stepped out wearing a perfectly pressed suit, holding a tablet under his arm. He looked composed, confident, almost rehearsed. For a moment, relief washed over Ayan. Surely his friend would explain everything. Imran, Ion said, walking toward him. What is going on? Imran dismissed the nearby employees with a polite gesture and guided Ion into a smaller meeting room. The door closed softly behind them, sealing the tension inside. It happened faster than expected. Imran began calmly. The investors demanded structural changes. You transferred ownership, Ion said, his voice tight, without telling me. Imran exhaled slowly, as if preparing for an argument he had already practiced. I told you we needed stability. Your decisions were making them nervous. My decisions. Ion felt heat rising in his chest. This company exists because of those decisions. And it nearly collapsed because of them, Imran replied, not raising his voice. Chased creative risks while ignoring financial reality. I had to act. The words landed harder than anger. Imran sounded convinced, even justified. You forged my approval. Ion said quietly. I didn't forge anything, Imran replied. You trusted me to handle operations. You authorized document processing months ago. Legally, everything is valid. The room felt smaller. Ion realized this had not been sudden. It had been planned carefully, step by step, hidden behind ordinary work tasks. Every late-night file, every rushed confirmation now looked different. You should have talked to me, Ion said. I tried, Imran answered. You wouldn't listen. You believed passion would fix numbers. Investors don't run on passion. Ion stared at the man he once called brother. Imran's face showed no cruelty, only determination. That made it worse. This was not betrayal fueled by hatred. It was betrayal justified by belief. So that's it? Ion asked. You remove me? And call it saving the company. I protected what we built, Imran said. You'll still have shares. You just won't control decisions anymore. Ion laughed softly, though nothing felt funny. The company carried his name, his ideas, his years of sacrifice. Yet he was now a guest inside it, outside the glass wall. Employees pretended not to watch. The atmosphere carried the quiet tension of people aware something irreversible had happened. You could have trusted me. Ion said finally. Imran hesitated for the first time. I trusted results, he replied. That sentence ended the conversation. Ion understood then that the partnership no longer existed. Friendship had been replaced by calculation long before today. He walked out without shouting. Anger felt useless. The elevator ride down felt longer than ever before. Each floor passing felt like another layer of his life closing behind him. Outside, the city moved normally, cars honking, vendors opening shops, people rushing toward work, unaware that his world had just shifted completely. He sat inside his car but did not start the engine. His reflection in the windshield looked unfamiliar, like someone who had misplaced not just a job but an identity. For years, every decision he made revolved around Malik designs. Without it, silence filled spaces where purpose once lived. Questions flooded his mind. Had he been careless, too trusting, blind to warning signs? He replayed conversations, searching for moments when things changed. He remembered Imran insisting on meeting investors alone. He remembered subtle disagreements dismissed as minor differences. Each memory now carried hidden meaning. The betrayal hurt less because of money and more because of trust. A stranger stealing from him would have caused anger. A friend doing it created something heavier. Doubt. Doubt about judgment, about loyalty, about whether shared memories had ever meant the same thing to both of them. As the morning grew brighter, sadness slowly hardened into clarity. Imran believed he had done the right thing. That realization removed any hope of apology. This was not a misunderstanding waiting to be fixed. It was a decision already completed. Ion finally started the car and drove aimlessly through the city. Billboards advertising success and ambition passed by like reminders of promises people make to themselves. He stopped at a small tea stall. They used to visit during their early struggles. The owner recognized him instantly and smiled, asking about the business. Ion forced a polite answer, unable to explain that the dream discussed at that very table no longer belonged to him. Sitting there, holding a warm cup of tea, Ion felt the first spark of something new beneath the pain. Not anger yet, not revenge, just awareness. Someone had rewritten his story without his consent. Whether justified or not, the result was the same. He had been pushed aside. The realization settled slowly but firmly. He could walk away and accept the loss, or he could fight in his own way. The thought did not arrive loudly. It formed quietly, like a decision waiting for courage. Across the street, people hurried toward offices, carrying hopes and worries invisible to others. Life continued, regardless of betrayal. Ion understood that the world would not pause for his heartbreak. If he wanted justice, or even understanding, he would have to create it himself. He finished his tea, placed money on the counter, and stood up. The morning sun felt sharper now, almost challenging. Pain still lingered, but beneath it grew determination, steady and controlled. That was the moment the desire for revenge was born, not from rage, but from the need to reclaim dignity. Not to destroy blindly, but to prove that trust broken could still give rise to strength. Ion's days became quiet after he lost the company, but his mind never rested. Every morning he woke with the same heavy feeling, as if unfinished words were trapped inside him. He rented a small workspace above an old bookstore, far from the glass towers where Malik Designs once operated. The room smelled of paper and dust, yet it gave him something he needed: distance. From there, he began watching instead of reacting. He followed industry news, studied company updates, and learned how Imran was reshaping the business they had built together. The company was growing faster now, attracting investors and media praise. Each success felt like a reminder that Ion had been replaced, not just removed. At first, anger pushed him forward. He imagined exposing everything publicly, proving that the takeover had been unfair. But revenge required patience, and patience forced him to think clearly. He spent long nights reviewing old emails and financial records he still had access. Two patterns slowly appeared: meetings held without him, decisions finalized before discussions, investors who suddenly changed their opinions after private conversations with Imran. None of it looked illegal at first glance, but it revealed careful manipulation. One evening, Sana contacted him again. She had left the company weeks earlier, unable to accept how things had unfolded. They met at a quiet cafe where rain tapped softly against the windows. Sana looked nervous as she placed a folder on the table. Inside were internal communications, messages showing how Imran pressured board members by exaggerating risks and creating urgency. He had convinced them that removing Ion was the only way to protect their investment. The strategy was clever, almost invisible, but morally questionable. "You didn't deserve what happened," Sana said gently. People trusted him because he sounded certain. Ion listened without interrupting. Holding the folder, he felt power returning to his hands. With this information, he could challenge Imran publicly. Investors might withdraw support. The company's reputation could collapse overnight. For the first time since the betrayal, revenge felt possible, real, and within reach. Yet the idea did not bring satisfaction. Instead, it brought questions. He walked home through crowded streets, replaying Sana's words. Imran had not acted out of jealousy or hatred. He truly believed he was saving the company. That belief complicated everything. If Ion destroyed him now, would it be justice or simply retaliation? Days turned into weeks as Ion struggled with the decision. He started rebuilding his own career quietly, taking small freelance projects. Clients who knew his work trusted him even without a company name behind him. Each project reminded him why he began designing in the first place, not for status, but for creation. Still, every success carried a shadow. The thought of revenge waited patiently in the background. At night, sleep escaped him. He imagined confronting Imran, demanding an apology that might never come. He imagined exposing the truth and watching headlines shift in his favor. But another image followed: employees losing stability, young designers facing uncertainty, years of shared effort erased in a moment of public scandal. Revenge would not only affect Imran, it would ripple outward. One afternoon, Ayan attended an industry seminar anonymously. From the back row, he watched Imran speak on stage about leadership and vision. The audience applauded confidently. Imran appeared composed, yet Ayan noticed subtle tension, pauses slightly too long, smiles that faded quickly when cameras turned away. Success had not made him relaxed. It had made him guarded. Ayan realized something unexpected then. Imran was carrying pressure alone now, the same pressure they once shared. The victory Imran gained came with its own weight. That understanding softened Ayan's anger but deepened his internal conflict. If revenge only transferred pain from one person to another, what would truly change? Back in his small workspace, Ayan placed the evidence folder on his desk and stared at it for hours. The choice before him felt larger than business. It was about identity. Was he the man defined by betrayal, or the man defined by his response to it? He began writing down possible outcomes, treating the decision like a design problem. Option 1. Expose everything, reclaim recognition, and possibly regain control. Option 2. Walk away completely and rebuild independently. Neither option erased the past. Both carried consequences. As days passed, his emotions shifted from anger to clarity. Revenge no longer looked like strength. It looked like a crossroads. He realized he did not actually want Imran's destruction. What he wanted was acknowledgement, proof that his trust had mattered. One evening, while organizing old sketches, Ayan found a notebook from the company's early days. Inside were handwritten goals they had created together. Build honestly, create fearlessly, succeed together. The last phrase lingered in his mind. Somewhere along the journey, fear had replaced honesty. He closed the notebook slowly. The betrayal still hurt, but the pain no longer controlled him completely. Instead of rushing toward revenge, he began planning something different, a way to reclaim his voice without becoming consumed by bitterness. The folder remained on his desk, untouched but powerful. Every day he chose not to use it was a decision in itself. The tension grew, not from action, but from waiting. Ayan understood that the real battle was no longer against Imran. It was inside himself. And as he prepared for the next step, truth became clear. Revenge was not a single moment of victory. It was a test of who he would become after being broken. Someone ruled by anger, someone strong enough to decide what justice truly meant. The annual industry conference was crowded, buzzing with energy that seemed almost unbearable to Ayan. Journalists, investors, and competitors filled the hall. Each person focused on Imran's keynote announcement. This was the moment Ayan had imagined countless times, the perfect stage to use the evidence he had collected. The folder with emails, recordings, and financial manipulation proofs rested heavy in his bag. One quick move could expose everything, shatter Imran's carefully built reputation, and force the world to recognize the betrayal. The power in his hands was intoxicating, yet frightening. He walked through the crowd slowly, heart pounding. With every step, rehearsing the moment of revelation over and over in his mind. From the back of the room, Ayan watched Imran take the stage. The man he once trusted looked confident, smiling as the spotlight hit him. But Ayan noticed subtle tension in his movements. A slight pause before speaking, fingers tapping against the podium. The facade of composure was there, but behind, its stress lingered. Imran had carried this weight alone, and for the first time, Ayan saw the cost of his betrayal. The applause from the audience was loud, but it sounded hollow to him. The knowledge that revenge was possible made the world feel simultaneously thrilling and dangerous. As Imran spoke, Ayan's mind raced. It could upload the evidence to the projector system, have it appear on every screen, and watch chaos unfold. Investors would be forced to reconsider. Employees would panic. Headlines would explode. The thought of Imran realizing he was exposed before the entire industry sent a cold thrill down Ayan's spine. Yet even in that anticipation, doubt crept in. Do you imagine the consequences for everyone? The employees who depended on the company, the clients who trusted them, even Imran's family. Revenge might feel satisfying for a moment, but it could destroy more than just the person he resented. The folder felt heavier in his hand as he approached the control booth. It's a point where one click could change everything. His hand hovered over the keyboard, shaking slightly. He envisioned the moment Imran frozen, the audience reacting in shock. His own vindication realized. But as the seconds passed, a new thought struck him. What would he feel after that victory? Would he feel justice or only emptiness? Years of shared effort, trust, and friendship reduced to headlines. The power of revenge suddenly felt hollow. Almost cruel. Ayan took a deep breath and stepped back from the booth. His eyes found Imran's on stage. Their gazes locked for a brief moment, and in that instant, memories rushed back. Early mornings spent, designing ideas together. Late nights celebrating small wins. Promises made over coffee in that tiny office years ago. The man in front of him was not just an enemy. He was someone who had once been his partner, his confidant. The realization made the idea of public humiliation feel heavy, almost unnecessary. Revenge could destroy a person, but it wouldn't heal the wound inside him. Instead, Ayan requested the microphone. The hall grew silent as he stepped onto the stage. Walking beside Imran, he felt every eye turned toward him, whispers spreading through the audience. Imran's smile faltered slightly, anticipation clear on his face. Ayan took a breath and spoke calmly, deliberately, each word measured. "I helped build this company," he said. "And I lost it because trust between partners broke down." Audience murmured. Imran's expression shifted from surprise to uncertainty. He expected confrontation, scandal, revelation. Instead, Ayan continued, steady and controlled. "Today I realized something. Success built without honesty eventually collapses, not because someone destroys it, but because guilt does." He paused, letting the weight of his words settle. Then he looked directly at Imran. "I won't seek revenge, but I won't stay silent either. I'm starting again openly, differently. And anyone who believes in fairness is welcome to join me." The statement was neither attack nor complete forgiveness. It was freedom, the release of a choice that had been building inside him for weeks. Walking off the stage, Ayan felt a mix of relief and determination. He had taken control of the narrative without destroying the man who had betrayed him. The thrill of revenge was replaced by clarity. Months later, Ayan's new studio gained recognition. He rebuilt his career step by step, earning trust through integrity rather than spectacle. Former clients returned, drawn to his work and his honesty. Imran's company survived as well, though whispers of caution followed him. The world moved on, subtly reshaped by Ayan's choice to act with restraint. One evening, Ayan received a message from Imran. "You could have destroyed me. Why didn't you?" Ayan stared at the screen, considering every possible response. Then he typed simply, "Because I didn't want to become the person betrayal tried to turn me into." He realized revenge might win battles, but only restraint could win back the self. Pain remained, but it no longer defined him. Betrayal was part of his story, but not its ending. The choice to rise above bitterness, to act with control and dignity, became his victory. Ayan understood the truth many learned too late. Revenge might promise satisfaction, but it often leaves emptiness. Peace comes from choice, from deciding who you want to be after being wronged. And in that understanding, Ion finally felt free. The past could no longer control him.